Probation is usually given for a felony. A felony is a crime typically involving violence regarded as more serious than a misdemeanor, and not murder. But in this case, the judge gives the defendant probation for murder. In Probation for Murder, we feature some of the oddest cases in which judges gave probation for the most heinous crimes. In this case, that being murder. Who would do such a thing, right? And this next case is a shining example of our legal system going to the animals, literally. Now, of many cases I've talked about before, this one doesn't make any sense. Now, it may be hard to believe, but a husband in Dallas area of Texas is dead, and his wife in the case faced murder charges after she told police she shot him because he was beating the family cat. Meow. You killed a guy because he beat the family cat. I love animals, but that's out there. I mean, I know that all animals bring joy to our lives, but I ask you, what is the punishment for harming a cat? Death? If we become a nation that believes in this insanity, we have skipped the judge and jury and allowed the executioner to settle the crime of animal cruelty right there in the house. No need for a judge. No need for a trial. But it's not going to be a trial over it anyway. That's actually like a ticket in society for harming an animal that way. A little backstory on this case, which the wife was given probation. The home address is 13217 Falls Manor Drive in far north Dallas, Texas. So if you live in that community, you know about the story. Now, it occurred here in this duplex where Mary Harrison, aged 47 years old at the time, told detectives she shot her husband, 49-year-old Dexter Harrison, during an argument. So a domestic violence that elevated to animal cruelty ended up with homicide. The shooting occurred in the family area of this once peaceful home around 6:45 a.m. on 1 June Saturday morning. Now, which would have been way too early for me to have an argument, at least that early in the morning. I need coffee first, you know. Let's get together later when you want to be a crazy lady, and then you can shoot me after having morning coffee, but not before over a cat. Anyways, Mr. Harrison, after being horribly shot over a cat, was transported by ambulance to Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, where he died of not one, ladies and gentlemen, but multiple gunshot wounds. You see, so it couldn't have been over a cat if you kept pulling the trigger. If it was a regular gun, if it was an automatic, they fire off 3 rounds, but you empty the whole clip. Now, his wife, who was immediately arrested on the scene, faced murder charges and was taken to Dallas County Jail. But in these cases, they feel sad for the wife even before trial. Forget during trial. You're going to get off. If you watch Killer Wives, Predator 101 on this channel, you've seen it enough. Now, the 2 children of the home, who were with Mr. Harrison's boys from a previous marriage, were taken into protective custody by family members after the Child Protective Services were involved. And the clearest sign to get Child Protective Services involved in your family when you don't wish them to is by shooting your husband over a cat. Now, Mr. Harrison's wife, Mary, remained in jail that Sunday morning following the murder. Her bail was set at $100,000. And if you know about the bail system in America, roughly what you have to give is about 10%. So she had to get $10,000 to get out of jail. Now, Mary confessed that she shot her husband on Saturday as he was beating that cat at their home in northeast Dallas during the argument. You know, I hate to say if you hit a gerbil, what would you get? Bludgeoning to death? Then a cat named Smokey had to undergo treatment at the time of this incident, was in the custody of SPCA. So Animal Protective Services, they took the cat into custody and they did surgery on the cat and they helped the cat. So the cat lived, the husband died. Then Mary Harrison posted bond and was released from the Dallas County Jail on that following Tuesday morning. It was unclear whether Harrison would be able to regain custody of the 2 animals that were taken from the home. You see, it was 2 animals there. It was 1 dog and 1 cat. And so in the report after the incident, she said he didn't bother the dog, he just bothered the cat. But in the newsreel, which we'll show you coming up here shortly, she'll say he injured both animals. So like I said, one pet was a dog, another one was a cat who survived the attack. The only person who didn't survive the attack was the husband. Now, Mary Harrison confessed that her husband did not directly threaten her nor their sons, she told police, but she was fearful that he might. So in most cases where it's self-defense, where they let you go when you shoot your husband in the face, in the back, in the side, in the temple, it's because it was in self-defense, right? Now, Harrison also stated that there were no prior history of any type of family violence and that the police had never been called to that particular residence before. Now, how does a woman get probation if there's never been any history of family, domestic violence, and the cops have never went to the house before? But somehow, out of all of this insanity, we ended up crowning this case with the inhumanity towards man when the judge in this case of no prior domestic violence gave this woman 5 years probation for killing her husband in cold blood. I'm telling you, you would have got more time if you walked up and punched a stranger in the face on the street. Harrison was indicted for felony murder but pleaded guilty to a reduced charge of manslaughter. How can you do that? Wow. Kill a man for a cat, plead manslaughter. I guess. The laws have changed a lot over the years. Moving right along, part of the plea agreement was 5 years probation even though she murdered her husband with her children in the home. I guess we forgot to add in child endangerment charges over the animal endangerment charges that he did. So, it's not too bad if you shoot somebody in the face when the kids are home. You definitely want to hurt a cat. It just doesn't make sense. Now, this case indicates on an immoral double standard that the legal system applies when judging killing a man versus killing a female in the very exact same situation. You know, I would be surprised if I took that same man out myself for killing my cat and got off scot-free. It would never have happened. I would have seen jail skip the trial straight to jail. It is too bad that many judges that sit on the bench in many court cases across the United States see the average human male as no different than a judge would have in the Jim Crow era of the United States. That's right. The only difference now is that it does not matter what color the man is, just as long as we give his aggressor woman preferential treatment for no good. Just for being a woman. So in the modern day, women are enjoying the same privileges that somebody who had been a Klan member or a preferential group in the past would have received just for being women. And it's backed up by the government. Now we leave you now with the local news story of that event after her arrest and vindication as she's always let go scot-free. Until next time, don't bother people's cats. You may end up down at the morgue. We'll see you again next time.
Dan, police say this all appears to be over the family cat. We now know tonight that the suspect is 47-year-old Mary Harrison. Police say just before 7 a.m. they were called to her house because they had learned that she was accused of shooting and killing her husband. Police say Harrison said she did it because her husband had been beating their cat. The husband was taken to the hospital but didn't make it. Police who live next to the couple say the two recently moved to the neighborhood with their 2 kids. They say the wife never seemed capable of murder.
Like, they were some good people. They didn't bother nobody, They was friendly. For a man to get shot over a cat, I know, that's kind of crazy.
And tonight, Harrison has been booked into jail. Her bond has not been set. Reporting live in Northeast Dallas, Aaron Jones, CBS 11 News.
Aaron.
This woman accused of murdering her husband is out of jail tonight. She told police that she killed him because of what he did to their cat. Now, newly released documents show there's more to the story. CBS 11's Aaron Jones live at the suspect's home tonight with what that is. Aaron?
Doug, tonight for the first time, we're getting a look at the arrest affidavit. It offers new details. 47-year-old Mary Harrison saying that the abuse expanded beyond the cat. She believed both her and her husband's son may have been the next victims.
This is a surprise to everybody, Nicola.
Saturday morning, Wayne Watson watched police line his street as Mary Harrison was arrested at her home. Police say she admitted to shooting her husband, 49-year-old Dexter Harrison, multiple times with a handgun because he was abusing their cat.
This is the first something like this happened since I've been here.
Now an arrest affidavit reveals Harrison said she shot her husband after he abused multiple animals in the home, 2 cats and a dog. She said her husband did not directly threaten her or his son, but was fearful that he might. Watson can't believe what they're being accused of.
The gentleman was friendly, the lady was friendly, the kids was quiet, no noise, no nothing.
Neighbors say the couple had 2 kids, both believed to be from Dexter's prior relationships. His son telling police he heard shots Saturday, saying afterwards the suspect told him to call 911. And tonight, the Dallas County Sheriff's Office tells us that Harrison will most likely be given a leg monitor and be placed on house arrest, awaiting trial. Reporting live in Northeast Dallas, Aaron Jones, CBS 11 News.